Let's go, the show is on.
Before the break, I spoke with Catherine Trotter of House of New Beginnings. And now, we head back home to Peace and a Cup of Joe to meet up with a very special lady, Miss TRACI TAYLOR, owner and founder of Handmade. Hey, TRACI,
Yes, ma'am.
welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah, well, we are so glad to have you. We're going to talk about your passion for making wonderful jewelry. February is known for a lot of different things, but
Yes.
one of those things is Valentine's Day,
Absolutely.
Love Month. So it might not be Valentine's Day, but we're going to go ahead and talk about how our passion, our love drives us to do different things. So TRACI, before we get started and before we talk about Handmade, I want you to talk about yourself.
Excellent.
Are you from the Baltimore area?
I am not. I am here by way of my father, who is from Baltimore. I am actually a military brat that was born in Texas, little town San Marcos that nobody's ever heard of.
Okay.
That's where I come from. And so at the end of it all, when Dad retired, we came back home, and now this is home to me.
Okay, so how long have you been in the Baltimore area?
Since 97, that's when my great graduation year.
Got you.
So yeah, it's been a minute now.
Okay, and now you relocated, you're here, and you have a family.
I do. I have a beautiful family, and speaking of love, I definitely am blessed to have a loving, happy family. I'm married to Andre Taylor, and we have 3 beautiful babies.
Let's say hi to Andre right now.
Hey, boo.
You want to say hi to the kids too?
Yes. Hi, Chloe, Caleb, and Camden, my babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, Handmade. It is obviously something you're very talented at.
Thank you.
And Handmade is the name of your company.
Yes, Handmade is a division of our larger company, which is Arts Period. And Arts Period is basically a gathering place for artists, people who love art, whether it be culinary arts, photography, whatever it is that people love, their expression. It's a place for them to gather together. And what happens is, if somebody comes to Arts Period looking for Handmade, they're also going to find everybody else that we're associated with. So right now, our website is under construction, and people like your former guest Candace with Inspirational Expressions, and K. Finch Photography, a lot of other people that we know and love will be associated with us there. And when people come to see them, they'll see all of us together.
Wonderful. Well, you know what? Let me plug you first. I am wearing the latest of Handmade. We will get close-ups, and you know, it's been wonderful. And when I first bought my piece from you, I bought a brooch from you and a ring. When I first bought those pieces and I started wearing them, I started getting noticed.
Wow.
And I love that because it's very unique, your stuff. Now tell us, when was the day, or
What happened?
tell us the day exactly when you woke up and said, I'm going to make jewelry, and not only make jewelry, but I'll make unique jewelry.
Yeah.
Not only make unique jewelry, but I'll make jewelry out of jewelry.
Yeah.
So when was that moment for you?
It was 2 Christmases ago. Actually, was it 2010? Yeah, Christmas of 2010. I had no money in my pockets. And I believe in giving gifts. And so it was really starting to bother me that we got closer to Christmas and I just wasn't in the position to really do what I wanted to do for my friends and my family. So I kept hearing people say, everything you need, you already have everything you need. That was just kind of the word at the time. And so I started looking around my house and seeing what I had that I could do something with, because many people don't know that I do accounting. That's what I do, you know, outside of this. And so that frame of mind is totally separate from this, but I've always loved art. So I started searching and I found a bunch of buttons in my house. And I said, okay, how can I put this together? And because I love art and I'm always in Joann's and Michael's and such, I found the little bases, the little wood bases, and I said, well, maybe if I put the buttons on the bases, and then I had a lot of fabric, and I started wrapping it with fabric. I was like, this is maybe a little bit cute. So,
Just a little bit, though.
Just a little bit cute. And this is one of them, like one of the first ones I started with just buttons. And so I just put them on there. And I did letters for people. So if I was doing something for you, I would get a tea and I would just decorate it.
Wow.
And I started giving them out around Christmas time. And people were like, no, this is cute for real. Like, I'm going to wear this and I'm going to keep this.
So were they always, what did you start with first? Brooches or rings?
Brooches, all brooches first. And they took that shape because they just didn't have any holes in them. So I couldn't put earring, hoops through them. I couldn't put anything through them. So the only thing I could do where people could wear them was just put the back for the brooch on them.
Wow.
And they kind of took off. And so when people saw them and said, oh, this is something, I believed it. And then it kind of went from that basic place of fabric and buttons and little things like that to my drawer. One day I opened my drawer, all this broken jewelry. What am I ever going to do with this? Like, ever. Nothing. I'm going to throw it in the trash and then it's going to be a waste. So I looked at it and it was like screaming at me, come get me, come get me. Play, come on. So I just went into my own broken jewelry and started putting it on there, and it went really from there, just starting to play with things and seeing what type of adhesive would hold this material, that material, and just continuing to perfect it.
Anybody inspired you, you think, to do that other than just this experience that occurred?
The thing is, I would have to say, and trust me, I'm not trying to be mushy because it's Valentine's season, but I would definitely have to say my husband. He's very self-taught. If he wants to do something, he will, boom, I'm going to look it up, I'm going to find it, I'm going to do it. And so when it got from the place to where it was shifting from like just a craft to something that I was like, I'm going to make some money off of this. But if I'm going to make money, it has to hold up and it has to, so I took that trait that I found in him, because it's not something I naturally would do. I just be like, oh, it's cute, whatever. And kind of just pushed past that and said, let me start really looking at how to make it better. How can I really make it something that'll hold up and whatever. And so I started doing my research and finding things that really helped hold my pieces together so that it would be something I could actually sell and feel good about.
All right, so beyond brooches, you have emerged into a variety of different types of pieces.
Yes.
I mean, the gamut is just overflowing. What are we doing now? I see rings, I see bracelets. Help me out. What else are we doing?
Anything that I can adhere things to is fair game.
You can stick it, it will be stuck.
It will be stuck. And I have to give some credit to, I have a phenomenal designer that works with me. Her name is Chantel Jeter. And she's the one that came up with these fabric flowers. That's her creation. And these, I call them corsage bracelets. I love them because it's like prom. In your grown life. It's so cute.
Day.
Yeah, I love it. So it's just a little fun. But with branching out beyond brooches, everybody doesn't wear brooches. So I had people say, oh, that's fabulous. Could you put that on a ring?
But you know what? Brooches are so fantastic.
I know, I love them.
You can put brooches on anything. You can even make a brooch a necklace.
Yeah. That's
so
what this is.
Versatile.
Yeah, you can unhook that from the necklace and it can just be a brooch or it can be a necklace.
Oh, wow.
But my girlfriends kept saying, like, Trace, which made me stick with my brooches and not just give them up.
Right.
I have girlfriends who, like, I'm running to the market, I put on my sweatsuit, I throw that thing on and I'm cute. Like, I'm cute and I know I'm cute. And can't nobody tell me I'm not cute. And people stop me and say, you look so cute. Now, I know without this brooch I'm busted right now. But the brooch just magically made them cute.
It's the busted stuff.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
So you have necklaces, you also have rings. We talked about rings. You have a variety of different bracelets that you have as well. Now, here's something that I think is totally off the chain. We used to be in the world of bling bling. When people said bling bling, and then we saw it on MTV, and everybody was bling blinging out their cell phones and blinging out their computer, just blinging out all kinds of stuff. Pick up one of these because we have to see this up close.
This is my favorite one because this is the type I get asked to do the most.
This is phenomenal. This is, everybody, a cell phone case.
That's my cell phone, actually.
And it is fabulous. This is cell phones everywhere are no longer the same because of you. You know that, right? Okay. So what inspired you to then now not only create jewelry, but to also now adorn cell phone cases?
Okay, it's funny because all of this stuff is like a natural next step type of feel. It just flows.
It just flows.
So I start with the brooches, I go to the rings, I move from the rings, I find bracelet bases, I go there, boom. But then I was looking at my case, and it's a hard plastic case, and I said, ooh, that's like the same material as all that other stuff I'm putting stuff on. Let me come on with it and just come up with something different. And originally the cases, I didn't really do junk cases. I did more cases like this.
Okay,
where
so
it's,
you call it junk, but I think it's so nice.
Thank you.
Okay, so junk because a lot going on.
Yeah, this has like, I try to cover every little crevice that I can, and my aesthetic is not necessarily classic, so I'm not looking for things that match. I'm just jamming what's beautiful to me in front of my face onto the space of the phone as much as I can fit that will stay and not fall off and all of that.
Right.
So, but what I started with was the same way I started with the brooches. I just had loose pieces of stones and jewelry and things like that, and I started putting them on cases. And right now I have cases on sale at East Point Mall. I have a good friend of ours that works out there, Ricardo Johnson. He sells them at his place in East Point Mall. And when I started doing them, people started kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
So then I kind of had to pick it up and actually really get with it. And then I started to realize that I was leaving edges uncovered, and so I just started going to the little nitty grit of broken jewelry and stuff that I could find.
Wow.
And when they started seeing the edges, they were like, well, could you do that all over the phone? I'm like, come on, y'all gonna have to pay me a little extra so that'll work.
Okay, so I love the fact, Tracy, that you have so much passion that you look at old, battered, bruised jewelry and you make the best out of it. You create something dynamic and brand new out of it. So, Tracy, tell me now, you also do things like for organizations or for people in specific professions or whatever kind of floats people's boat. One in particular, this apple.
Yes.
You know, teachers everywhere, I think, could relate to this.
Yeah.
And I mean, who else? Other people in other professions as well.
Yeah. I think that the first order that I kind of did for a specific organization or with something in mind was for breast cancer. I had a friend of mine who wanted to give gifts to some family members who had lost a loved one. And so I took everything pink that I had. This is one of them that I had left. I took everything pink that I had and put them together. And a lot of them I put the pink ribbon on. But then I even do sometimes on very special occasions, I take pictures of people and put them onto the pen. So I would take a picture of them and laminate it. And so the ones that I did for them were all pink butterflies. And I took the picture of the woman and I put it on there. So it was really special for the family. But I do things for my sorority sister friends.
Yes.
I am not pledged to anything, so I have no bias in making anything for anybody. I can do pink, I can do red, I can do whatever color you tell me to,
Every
baby.
color, honey.
But yeah, I do things, not just what I like to do, but I also take custom orders where somebody could call me and say, I love blue and I love hearts, so can you make me a blue heart? And I'll go for it.
Okay.
So I don't just, I love the freedom of creating what I like, but I love meeting the need of when somebody says, this is what I really want, can you do it for me?
Because it's so unique. Again, we use that word all the time.
Yeah, and
unique,
it is.
and
it's very one of a kind.
Yeah, it's one of a kind.
Yeah.
And if you want something that is that of an association or a specific color that you're into, you can have it, and people will say and stop you, because they have, from me, they have stopped me and said, where did you get that? And you know, so handmade is always going to be amazing. Now, you don't always just do grown-up-y type stuff. You also do kids stuff.
I do kids stuff. Oh, I love doing kids stuff. I have this little teeny weeny little piece right here. And I do little pieces like that for the little girls' coats, but they can wear multiple little pieces on their coats. I never put it on any little baby's clothes. I'm not crazy, y'all. Okay. But we put it on their outerwear, things like that. Oh, that is
so adorable.
And then we do like the little letters, and you can put this in the shadow boxes in their room. Just a lot of little fun stuff. And I've even done some kids' cell phone cases. A little grown, but it's still very, very cute. So I put butterflies and little happy smiley faces and those type of things. But going back to the affiliations, I did a set of 12 elephants. I took elephant-shaped brooches and did 12 different ones for somebody who wanted to give them out to their sisters. So it's not just that I can put an elephant on it. I can find elephant shapes. I can find any kind of shape and do, you know.
Poodles. Ivory, whatever works, whatever floats someone's boat out there. If you belong to a certain group or organization, this Tracy can put it together for you. No shade on anybody specifically.
Shade,
we do everybody. It's an equal opportunity. I don't want to say employer, but crafter. Okay, we do baby stuff, we do grown-up stuff, men's stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
This is actually my husband's cell phone case that I stole. Sorry, boo, I stole it. It's just something that has, you know, watches and a bunch of manly pieces and broken things.
You know what,
and
Tracy,
I do cufflinks.
That's where I was headed. You do cufflinks, which I think is awesome. Now, when you're doing cufflinks, what is your approach? Do you do the junk approach, or do you do something? I haven't
done any junk ones, but that's an awesome idea, love.
She thought of it on the Tameka Harris show.
Hey. Don't be mad when I run with that thing.
At all.
No, typically what I do is I look for unique stones or pieces that really jump out at me. I know a lot of men's cufflinks are very standard. You'll see them again at some point unless you're willing to pay an extensive amount of money for them. And I try to make things reasonable but unique. And so just like with everything else that I do for handmade, though I may have similar stones or things like that, I make sure not to duplicate a lot of those things either, because I still want even those things to be special. So I just pick out stones that jump at me, and I'm kind of like, well, I've never seen that before.
What's so great about the cufflink thing is that there are so many men out there who have specific shirts and they cannot find a cufflink to go with it. So to come to you and be specific and custom about what they want would be awesome. So why don't we talk about orders right now, because I'm sure we've whet the appetite enough where folks want to get in on Handmade. So tell us, how do people order?
Well, most of my ordering right now is actually through Facebook. It's such an awesome platform because people get to see the galleries. I mean, when you have time, you can look up Arts Period. It's not under Handmade, it's under Arts Period on Facebook. And you can just go to the photos, and what happens is people get a chance to see what's already done that's for sale, what's been done before, so that if they don't like what they see, they can say, ooh, I like that piece. I know you're not going to duplicate that exact piece, but this is the feel of what I'm looking for. And we have, of course, a website, artsperiod.com. Like I said, we're working on the community. So right now it's under construction, but you can still go there. It's going to direct you to the Facebook page. And of course, we have our email, artsperiod@gmail.com, where people just submit their orders there. And we have a special going on right now. We have something called Valentine's in a Box. And there was one for the women and one for the men. For the women's box, the gentleman could pick a brooch or a piece of jewelry of their liking from our gallery. So I would just basically, I created a link where they could go in and look and say, I want that one or whatever. And then it had a card from our sister, Inspirational Expressions, and then another friend of mine who does, I just have to take a breath, the most phenomenal.
They're delicious, huh?
They are absolutely stupid. They're called Cookie Bites. They're Cookie Bite lollipops. They're made from cookies. They're just absolutely like love in your mouth. They're just amazing. And bottle of sparkling cider. So all of that together, the brooch, the cookie bites, the card, and the cider for $50. And then we also, my sister makes bow ties, amazing bow ties.
Really?
Cruise Creations. So for the ladies, they could pick a bow tie of their choosing to swap out for the jewelry piece, and theirs was $60. But the thing is, even though the Valentine's special is passed, that package is still available for birthdays or
wow.
anniversaries or anything like that. So
Okay.
it's something that we're still willing to do together to, you
So
know,
you
present
bring
it.
all the creative forces together
Yes,
to
and
create.
then my Chantel, my girl, she shrink wraps them and makes it all fantabulous and beautiful. So yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we're going to have some of these people on the Tameka Harris show.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we love finding
Yay.
unique things
Yeah.
and giving them to our audience so that they can definitely order. Why don't we do the ordering information one more time
Awesome.
before we leave?
Excellent. Well, you can check us out on Facebook at Arts Period and come like our page and send us a message there, or you can send us a direct message at artsperiod@gmail.com.
All right, Traci Taylor of Handmade, division of Arts Period.
Got
we do
it.
very much appreciate you sharing your passion with us today on the Tameka Harris Show. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you.
Don't go anywhere because I get to chat with the newlyweds. That's right, Terrence and Kathy Richburg are up next on the Tameka Harris Show.